Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's always fantastic to be with you. And let me just remind you that my name is Graham Moore. I'm Certified Master of the Leadership Challenge, the most widely recognized leadership program in the world. Been around for 40 years. It's been around for almost as long as I have. And I would like to introduce two of my very good colleagues in this process. Phoebe Francis, trained facilitator in the Leadership Challenge, who is based in Dubai. Good morning, Phoebe.
Morning, Graham, and greetings to all. Also, Mohammed, welcome back.
And Mohammed, my gosh, there he is, the man who's been doing some really important things in the last couple of weeks, more important than having conversations with us. We know they are, but now we are delighted to have you back with us to bring your wisdom to the fore again. Mohammed, good morning.
Thank you very much, and very nice to see you again, guys. Mohammed from Bahrain.
So I'm going to ask Phoebe, as I sometimes do, if he'd like to help us change mindset. Phoebe, what does it mean for you? I'll start with you. What does it mean to have a fixed mindset? And should we just accept that and live with it as a leader? Oh, that's the way it is. That's the way he is. Or should we be able to change the mindset? Phoebe, your wisdom, please.
Yeah, I think when we are interacting with people, we are always, coming to be helping them, serving them. And how better we can serve them if we can bring new thoughts. And that thoughts can lead to mindset shifts. And I remember an incident in which I experienced that. One which I recall right now is with respect to a department head with whom I was working, and I had to ask him for some permission. So this is what he said: Phoebe, you don't need to ask permission to me. I'm here to serve you. Please, whatever you want to do, you keep doing. Let me know if I can support you in any way. Now, I had to go outside of my work for some urgency. And this is what he said: don't worry, go keep your mobile phone with you in case anything is needed. I will call you back. Complete what you want to do. And that words actually was very much revealing and, shifting my thought process. First, because it showed trust in me. The leader is showing the trust in me as a subordinate in his team. And, that was a very impactful mindset shift, which made me trust in him like anything, which actually, I understood that it is the responsibility of the leaders to bring that shift in mindset so that people are not looked upon on whether you have done, okay, at 8 a.m. you are there, or 9 a.m. you are there, or sitting there till 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, but a mindset shift of you taking care of the team members and their needs. And what I felt is I felt included in the process. Also, I felt encouraged, and I felt being led by someone who cared the team. So, that mindset shift have a lot of implications in our work as well as in our life. So that's why I thought of sharing that perspective, Graham.
Can I just make this overall comment, and then I want to hear from Mohammed based on what I've said and what Phoebe said. We are psychologically made up over a period of time of certain belief systems. And for some of these belief systems that we have, we need to have them, right? Our survival depends on them. Here's a simple example. There's a hot plate on the oven. We know, we're conditioned, we have a mindset that says, don't put your hand on it because you'll get burnt. We know that. No one's going to say, let me just try it and see because I want to change my mindset. Wow, I've just burnt my hand off. So there are things that we must, as part of the conditioning, accept. But unfortunately, we accept far more than we need to or we should. We should be looking to change. We call this challenge the process, but looking to change and looking for better things, but also encouraging others to change their mindset as well. Mohammed, please.
Yeah, mindset, and it's everything is there. And we always say, when we see a good behavior, we say, he has a good mindset. When we see a bad behavior or bad behaviors from a team, we said there must be a change in the mindset. So we are very clear that the mindset is the source of what people do. And yet many leaders focus only on fixing and polishing and calibrating, correcting people's behaviors, which is the result of the source. So a good leader will really look at the mindset. If we change the mindset like the leader of Phoebe did, if we just work on the mindset, in that case, the tool was a very good, clear conversation, and things will fall in place. I think today's topic is very deep, and yet it's so simple. But how easy is it? That will be left to our next discussions.
So let's look at the source of change of mindset, right? The source is the leader's mindset, isn't it? And he can then influence others. So he or she should always be prepared to change their mindset. So often, managers are stuck in this confine that says, we've always done it this way. That's the way it's got to be. What's the budget if we're going to make a change? Whereas leaders themselves, before they can encourage others to change their mindset, leaders must be demonstrating their innate ability, want, desire to change their mindset. Now, here's a specific example, and it comes out of the Leadership Practices Inventory. It's one of these 30 statements in the wonderful assessment that we have for leadership behaviours. And that is, the leader should be asking his team members, either in the group or individually, how does what I do affect your performance? So he's then in that statement, or that question, asking innately, what behavior have I got to change, or should I change? What change should I be having, rather than being stuck in this mindset of, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about, just follow me, right? But if he says or she says, how does what I do affect your performance? It's demonstrating a willingness for him to change his mindset. And so that's where the change should be. The leaders should be aware of and trying themselves to change their mindset.
And that's what I think, that's what the podcast is for. I love this link. People will change their behavior if they change their mindset. But you're saying they will change their mindset if the leader has an open mindset himself. So who will remind that leader to have an open mindset? Just a reminder, it's called the Leadership Challenge podcast.
Yeah, to remind.
I hope we are awakening that part with this episode. Yes, go ahead.
Look, then you're right. Leaders, leaders need help. Leaders learn every day as well. And leaders need reminding sometimes, and it's good for them to be reminded. I need to be reminded. We all need to be reminded, and not just be stuck in this is the way it must be. This is the way it should be. As I said, the fundamental for all of this is the challenge, the process. The third practice of the leadership challenge. Phoebe's got some wise words of wisdom just waiting to come in.
Yeah, when Mohammed mentioned about that open mindset part, where how leaders' open mindset is being observed, and that is where we have the first practice of leadership, model the way, and how a leader is being observed with respect to his ways of interactions or behavior. And when we call it virality in organization, when a leader is having an open mindset, we can see people all slowly opening their mindset to new ideas and thoughts. So the modeling the way comes in that space, and that becomes a wave within the organization. And we can see those organizations which make brilliant changes, brilliant innovations, brilliant strategic moves across the globe. So these, modeling the way, how am I as a person holding the power in organization doing matters.
Here's the consequence of this. In simple terms, if I, as a leader, am open to challenging my mindset and challenging the mindset of others, and I talk to the team about this, what are they going to do when they have an idea that might be a bit different, that requires a change of mindset? When it comes to having a discussion with me, are they going to resist? Oh, I can't talk to him about it because he will tell me, no, we've got to do it this way. No. If I've set a culture in the organisation where people are open to discussion about changing mindset, then even at the most junior level in the organisation, someone can come up to me at a very senior level and say, I'd just like to suggest maybe we could try this. And he would know that I'm not going to say, hey, well, just get on with their job. Because leaders got to encourage this change of mindset. And
we know that changing mindsets is the biggest challenge, using the words that we are based on the leadership challenge. The biggest challenge leaders face is changing the mindsets. Why? Because in the organizations, what changes the behaviors is already set in policies, procedures, rewards and punishments, etc. All those is there in the system because we can measure the behavior. But can we measure the mindset? In fact, who cares to measure or manage the mindsets? As long as I see your outcome and performance and you are doing your job and delivering results, do I care about your mindset? You have to do it. So that's why they face a challenge, because at least once they will see detour and a deviation from the results, and the behaviors will go wrong, and they will say, oh my God, what happened? There is a problem in mindset. We didn't care about the mindset. Our system did not actually include mindset in the policies and procedures. How can we do this? Of course you cannot do this, because management systems cannot do this. Managers cannot do this. Leaders can care and change the mindsets. And that's why we are here. And I'm sensing our viewers are saying, okay, we are ready for, how can we change mindsets? We have seen already one way, a good conversation, a sincere conversation between Phoebe and his leader. But there are, of course, other ways. And we are talking about model the way. And model the way there's a reason it's the first practice in the leadership, exemplary leadership practices, because it changes mindsets. But these are not the only ways. I'm leaving it open to you guys.
You've used a couple of words which I'm going to push back on. And I know that we could say, but organizations must have this. They must have this so that everybody follows the rules. This is policies and procedures. And unfortunately, that's where so many managers rest on an issue. Well, the policy says, oh my gosh, right? The policy creates a concrete mindset because someone somewhere at some stage wrote a thing called a policy document. I'm going to lose a lot of friends here. I don't care. But they write a policy document with all of these convoluted things that people are supposed to do. As I say, in customer service, the worst word you can use in defending an issue with a customer is to refer to policy, right? It's not our policy to give you money back on a terrible product. I mean, come on. Policies lock us in to the history way back. And I know that it's important to have guidelines, but we've got to be able to challenge policies, and so that the team know that they can find a better way. No, I'm not talking about anarchy. I'm not talking about rewriting everything or all legislation. I know that. But there's got to be a way to have a mindset that allows difference, allows better things to occur. and being aware of the benefits of challenging and then change. I rest my case about policies and procedures.
You had to say that, didn't you? Right?
Yeah, get that off my chest.
Yeah, Graham, I'm just trying to bring a new mindset up. Graham, I'm trying to bring a new mindset here, a change here. How can we inspire for a policy change? How can we ignite others to look into what in the policy need a continuous revision? How can we bring more impact in that policy for the current needs of the organization? So that is what, from a leadership perspective, we should see in organization. Even if we have a rigid policy structure, find inspiration. What make the policy better? What ignites change in the policy? What will be the impact of when we try to move in that policy to be revised for the modern day needs? Quite often, as you mentioned, no one look into the policy revision at organization, and that is another huge challenge. So I'm bringing that three eyes.
Let me just insert this, because I know that's where you're going. I would like to see a policy document that says at item number 23, and the policy is that all staff who do a fantastic job will be recognised for what they've done. Doesn't have a policy document.
Yeah, Phoebe, since you brought it up, okay, how can we make this through policies? That's a good idea. And this was not planned in our episode, as more our of when we make people part of the policies, making policies, then we will find a change in the mindset.
Yeah.
When we include people, and even not only in the vision, as we say, a shared vision, but also in the detailed policies. Here, hey guys, we need your opinions about this part of the policy in doing this particular operation. All right, we are doing it every year 4 times. We are commissioning the machines, etc. Is there a better way to do it? And we will put it in the policies. Imagine when your crew, when your team, when your co-workers have a say in how they do things, not you and your documents and the auditors and whatever consultant. Okay, the people who will do this, they are only saying how to do this, and it's becoming a policy. So the next year, they find in the manuals the policies that they had a say in it. Okay, there is a rule in andragogy, which is adult learnings. One of the principles says that people are more committed to the data that they produce.
Yes.
Again, people are more committed to the data that they produce. So if you take this from them and give them the ownership, you will find a shift, not only in performance, but a shift in mindset. I made this. This operation is based on steps and SOPs that I made. A huge shift in not only in practice and performance, but in paradigm.
So I've been saying this for a long time, and I'll say it again. Policy does not change behavior. Policies don't change. Nope. What is behavior? Benefits change behavior. Benefits change mindset. Yes. But to read a policy document, this is the policy. There's going to be resentment. There's going to be pushback. I don't care about it. But when you explain the benefit to someone, there is then going to be a mindset change, right? It's quite simple. Leaders create this because of the relationship that they build with the people they're working with. And they can have discussions about benefit, not policy item number 27.
I just say this many times because I come from safety. I say policies will only make more policing, more policing, and policing that does not improve people's behaviors. It's good for being organized to bring order, but it doesn't change mindsets.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Phoebe, I want to come to you in a minute, but let me just make this point. In terms of health and safety, the policy document is not, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an expert on health and safety like you are, but the policy document is not going to increase the number of injury-free days. Correct me if I'm wrong, what's going to change the injury-free days, is the attitude of the people.
Yes, yes. Yes, we always say that you as a safety manager or a leader or even the organization, you can go with the worker as far as the safety induction room. Once he gets the badge, leaves that room, and he's there with the trench or with the scaffolding, you are not there with him, and he has full free will to do whatever he wants and believes. So he wants and believes. He will commit shortcuts. He will bypass policies whenever he sees the benefit of doing of his behaviors.
And therefore, the leadership challenge, I'm sorry to interrupt Phoebe again. I'm going to stop for 10 minutes when Phoebe starts. That what is going to be of benefit in the lead, particularly in the health and safety area, is not a policy document, but leadership challenge.
Of course it is, yes. But don't get me in the safety, because I will not stop. I will not give you space to talk, you two. So I'm going to stop here and ask Phoebe to just save the day.
Absolutely, Phoebe.
No. Again, I just want to bring to the points which you mentioned. As leaders, are we enabling others to act or not enabling others to act? And sometimes, when we create policies, they are not enabling others to act, actually. And that is where that mindset shift comes in, enabling others to act. And as people in positions, and as we know that leadership is everyone's business, but are we enabling others to act? That brings that mindset shift. And this sees the strength and passion of others. When we enable that, when our policies are enabling others to act, we can see the passion of people coming out. We can see that we are giving them tools to grow, and that leads to progress.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yes.
In fact, all the five practices, exemplary practices, actually improve the mindset. It's not only model the way and enable others to act, but if you go along all of them, which I think Graham should do better than I do, then all of them will change mindset. Yeah, by default.
Of course. What about inspire a shared vision? Created a shared vision. People are there. That's good. That in itself is going to change mindset. Because people get excited about where we are going. Yeah, I want to go there. I'm sorry. Would you mind reading point number 10 in the policy to see about why you should be motivated? No. Let me talk about the vision and where we're going. Oh, wow. I want to climb the mountain with you. Ah, good. But the policy document, anyway. But also, as Phoebe said, enabling others to act. They are encouraged to do things, to have a different mindset, to challenge the mindset. And what about inspire? What about what about giving challenge the process, of course, and encouraging people to challenge the process? Number 3. But number 5, what is the 5th practice? Encourage the heart.
Yeah.
And as I said in our last podcast and last conversation, the notes, that I believe that as leaders we are to inspire and motivate. And what is the simplest way to achieve both of those? Encourage the heart. Simple. What is a simple way of changing a mindset? Encourage the heart. Leaders do this. Policy document. Who mentioned the word policy in this conversation? You've taken us down a rabbit hole. How does have people motivated to change, to do things better, to get satisfaction, to love what they're doing, to find purpose in what they're doing? That happens because their mindset can be changed by the leader. But I come back to one of my earlier comments. The leader himself or herself should also be able to change their mindset.
I mean, try this as a leader. You're going across your department and you see people doing what they do every day, right? And you become so used and accustomed to it, to the degree that you're acknowledging and appreciation sensors go numb, and you subconsciously feel that, okay, they're doing their job, that's good. It's autopilot. There's no need to intervene, or say or do anything. No, that's wrong. And in our last episode, which I wasn't there, about appreciation, the power of appreciating also changed the mindset. What if you stop by someone's desk and say, oh, good morning. What are you doing here? What is on your table today? That's lovely. Great work. Keep it up. Just that. I mean, imagine after you leave, how will they be? Not only how will they do, how will they be compared to how they were before you stopped and dropped by their desk? And if you just do these snippets, how much mindset are you going to change? Hugely.
Phoebe.
No, I'm just sitting with that words which Mohammed mentioned. In organization, we have these days droughts of lack of appreciation and a lack of encouragement of the heart at times.
Yeah.
And everyone is busy to do things. But imagine that when we have that genuine interaction, and make sure that we acknowledge the people we see. And you can see, looking into the people's eyes, saying a simple word, thank you for what you are doing.
Yeah.
It had a massive impact on what we were trying to achieve. And we can see that that actually lightens the heart of the people. That leads to the ignition of mindset shift. My team members are acknowledging what I'm doing. And we see that people motivated by this simple act, saying thank you. And it is not costly.
Sure. But see, also, when we talk about changing mindset, it gets to change management, of course, and some people will resist anything to do with change. And when leaders talk about, through their vision and the way they are enabling others to change, to perform better, when they're giving them encouragement, when they are themselves living their values, and people can see that, then that develops that relationship where the people want to perform better. They want to get better results. They are encouraged to find a better way of doing things. They are encouraged to think differently about the way we're doing it. Of course, making sure that everything is safe and there's no corruption of safety issues. But this has people wanting to contribute to the success of the team, the division, the organisation, the country, because they are allowed and encouraged and recognised when they are involved in a process where they can express their views and move their ideas forward. Don't you agree?
I think at the end of our podcast, as we approach, I hope if we could only bring your attention as a leader to one thing, that the mindset is the source of all the behaviors, results, and outcomes that you are seeking to improve in your team. The source is the mindset. If you work on the source, you have already managed to improve everything else. And if you are asking how to change the mindset, as simple as don't go very far. The 5 exemplary practices of leadership are there. Model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, and enable others to act, and encourage the heart. These 5 practices of the leadership challenge are enough. If you do them on any scale, but continuously, they will take care of people's mindsets. Again, not policies, not procedures. No matter how important they are, they will do a specific job in calibrating, correcting the outcomes and the results. But you as a leader know that it's not enough. It's the mindset.
Well said. Well said. Phoebe, final word from you with all your wisdom on this topic.
Yes, in case you find challenge to shift the mindsets of people in your workplace. We are here to help. We are here to encourage you to explore the leadership practices. And I'm sure these practices will hone the team to be more proactive in bringing mindset changes. So thank you, everyone, for listening to us. Graham.
Look, change your mind. Change your mind. But as Muhammad said, it's inside. It's in, right? That's the first part. We've got to recognize internally that we as individuals can change our mind and that it's not going to be negative. We've got to obviously consider certain factors to make sure that we're headed in the right direction. But in doing this, there's going to be positive change. We're not going to change for the sake of change. Of course not. But our mindset is so often fixed and we're not open to new ideas. We're not open to making changes in the way we do things. And that is going to have us doing the same thing over and over. And what happened? What is the definition of doing the same thing over and over? Insanity. So we don't want insanity in the workplace. We want leaders who inspire others. Gentlemen, our time is up. I'm going to challenge your mindset to a change and say thank you so much for your generous input, as always. And I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
very much.